gas, hit the gas, I'm really on your ass. Switch up, new mission, come by, I'm really in the kitchen. Get up off your ass, you gon' stay broke. Don't keep, bitch, I'm gone. I got no love for these fuck niggas. I got no love for these fuck niggas. I fronted you love, you stole from me. Hit a lick, you would've
What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Larry, and we live back in the building. You already know how I go. Ready to give you some of that NBA juice, some of that NBA sauce. What's up, Orlando? How we rocking today? What's up, family? YouTube world, what's going on today? Go ahead, subscribe, hit that like button. You know you like the face, you know you like the voice. Gonna rock with you, man. You know, gonna rock with your boy, you know. You already know how it's going. Today, I'm gonna jump straight into it, talk about something that got a little bit of people talking, but not too much people talking. They don't really know too much about it, so I'm gonna stop, you know what I mean, bull spitting around it. The play-in tournament, a new implication just got added in, something that we seen a little taste of it last year in the bubble right here in very own Orlando. The Orlando bubble, you know how it was shaking with Phoenix Suns, was red hot. I ain't gonna go deep into it, but right here this season, we got it again. The play-in tournament starts right after the regular season, right before the playoffs. Starts Tuesday to Friday, 3 days of single game eliminations, and Saturday is the beginning of the playoffs. If you don't know much about the play-in tournament, the specificalities of it, what's all going on, for real, really, all you really need to know is the 7 from each conference, the 7th seed to the 10th seed, have a chance to fight it out, duke it out for the 7th and 8th spot. The 7th seed will go against the 8th seed, fighting for that 7th seed spot. The 9th seed and the 10th seed will duke it out as well for a chance to get into that 8th spot. Now, the loser of the 7th seed and 8th seed game, single elimination game, faces the winner from the 9th seed, 10th seed single elimination game, and they fight it out for that 8th seed spot. Now, what I do kind of, you know what I mean, before I dig too deep about it, well, as you can kind of a little bit hear, is that 7th and 8th seed spot do have 2 tries to not get eliminated. If they do lose against one another, the 7th and 8th seed game, if one of them loses, they still have another chance to get back into that playoffs by beating that 9th seed or 10th seed. So that's something that you can, you know, keep a reminder of, keep a, you know what I mean, keep your brain, you know what I mean, on that real quick. If we head on over to the East, the Heat in that 7th seed, 28 and 27 record, but the 8th Hornets without no LaMelo Ball, 27 and 27. Pacers at the 9th seed, creeping up, sneaking up, trying to get into that playoff spot with a 26 and 28 record. Then you got the Bulls in that last spot, trying to get really contend for a play-in position, 22 and 32 record. And notable, very notable that you guys have to pay attention to, 11th seed, which is the Raptors, 22 and 34, but we'll get into that later. On the West, though, on the West side, you got the 7th seed, who I was just talking about, the Mavs, 30 and 24. You got the Grizzly Bears, you already know, 27 and 26. Shout out to that boy Ja Morant. Warriors, shout out to that boy Curry, cooking Curry, Chef Curry, Splash Brothers Curry, you already know, doing what he got to do, Curry. Warriors 27 and 28, locking down that 9th seed after they was a 10th seed, but they on a 3-game win streak. You know, I'm gonna get into all that later. Spurs in that 10th spot, that last spot, 26 and 27, and then that number 11, that creeper, is the Pelicans. And are we ready for a play-in spot? Are we ready for a playoff spot for that new kid Zion, who's very dominant in the league right now? But you know, this video is to talk about that kind of stuff. Right now, we're here with the play-in. Larry Live, baby. Boom! Some notables, some things that you guys have to remember, guys have to look out for, especially over in the East. Not so much in the West, but in the East, it's really crazy. Like I told you guys, the Heat with a 28 and 27 record, they're in the 7th spot now. A couple days ago, maybe like April 12th, April 11th, these standings were not entirely the same. Well, for the West, yes. For the East, next. If you catch my drift. East, like I said, Heat, Hornets, Pacers, Bull. Couple days ago, 3 days ago to be exact, Celtics, Knicks, Pacers, Bull. All that to say, anything can shake up in this East, anything can, you know what I mean, for this play. So it's very important that you guys pay attention to what's going on in the East. Shout out to the Knicks, 6th seed, 29-27 on a 4-game winning streak. Shout out to Tom Thibodeau, having them the number 1 defensive team in the league, number 1 in the opponent's point per game, opponent's field goal percentage, opponent, a whole bunch of stuff. But, you know, that's a whole nother video for that. Shout out to them Knicks, 6th seed, Tom Tibbs, might not get coach of the year Julius Randle definitely deserves most improved player of the year, but that's another conversation for another day. Boston coming in 29-26, also on a 4-game winning streak. Like you see on this paper, Celtics and Knicks were 6 and 7 seed 3 days ago. So the East, anybody has a chance to get into that motherfucking 7 seed and possibly getting knocked out of the playoff picture. And number 4, I don't really have to mention them because they're playing good, but they're not playing well enough to not mention them. The Atlanta Hawks, the 4 seed, with that new change, that new coach, and got a new way of winning there. I'm not going to go too much in them, but as you guys see, the East is very, 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 very close until it gets to that 10 seed where the Bulls are make it look very, very weak at 22. But Atlanta, 30 wins. Boston, 29. Knicks, 29. Heat, 28 wins. Hornets, 27 wins. Pacers, the 9th seed, 26 wins. Any of these teams can snatch. Any of these teams can get hot. Any of these teams can take off. Any of these teams can really mess up and get knocked down to that 9th or 10th seed. Who? Maybe the Hornets, who's on a 3-game losing streak. Maybe the Heat, who's on a 2-game losing streak. If we move over to the West, though, talking about this play-in tournament, and if we can break it down a little bit. Now, it's a whole bunch of hoopla coming from the Mavs about this whole play-in tournament. Luka Doncic don't like it. Mark Cuban is definitely not here for it, calling it an absolute mistake, not tragedy, but absolute mistake that you guys will see about in the future. So you got the Mavs 30-24, a little bit better than the rest of the people in the bunch. But if you take a look at their games and their regular season opponents and how, you know what the fuck I'm trying to say. If you look at their regular season games, Grizzlies, Warriors, Spurs, they lost to these guys. This is April 15th. I believe April 14th, Luka just hit that buzzer beater over the Grizzlies. A couple games before that, Spurs didn't hit a buzzer beater, but beat the Dallas by 2 or 4 points. It's up in the air with these last 7, 8, 9, 10, and something that you got to look out for. Portland, 31-23. In that 6th spot, they lost 2 in a row. Mavs could be pushing for that 6th spot. That want to bring me to this next segment. Watch out for the 6. Not so much, for the East, but East got a lot going, but especially for the West, you want to watch out for that 6th seed. Mavericks do not want to be in this play-in. They don't want to be in the play-in tournament. They don't want nothing to do with it. They're working hard. They tired of it. They don't want what they know could happen. That's getting knocked out of playoffs by one of these hungry teams who aren't that far down from them. Grizzlies 27-26, Warriors 27-28, Spurs 26-27. Yeah, that looks kind of funky, but they get wins. They do what they got to do, and they're battling injuries, and they're doing what they have to do to get wins when they can get them, but they're not all the way there. That's why they got a lot of L's. But the Mavericks know they're not all the way there either. Putting a lot of hope, a lot of gambling in Porzingis, and still not fully capturing that wingman that can fully, be that 1-2 to Luka Doncic. A real star, stud, superstar, not just an all-star. So you're gonna see Mavs taking a lot more games seriously now, that not just because they're the 7th seed and all they gotta do is make sure they don't get knocked out. No, they're trying to get away from that 7th seed, try to put Portland in this hot seat, have Portland go against these hungry 8, 9, 10 seeds, and see if they can manage, see if they got what it takes, because playoffs start Saturday. And that's why I want to bring it to, if I could, the pros and cons of this play-in tournament. This is what people are talking about around the league. Pros, cons. I'll start with the cons first. Injuries. First con. We could be all dandy and fine trying to fight for this spot for the playoffs, but don't remember Derrick Rose. Hell, Jamal Murray just 2 days ago just got injured playing. Probably should have, sat out a couple games, do what the Spurs used to do what Clippers did, and do what the Nets are doing, and that's preserve their best players, baby. And what you have concern with is injuries for y'all know injuries. It's nothing to break down. It's nothing to talk about. It's something scary that owners, players, coaches do not want to deal with if they do not have to deal with it. It's not an excuse. It's something real, but it could be used and viewed as an excuse just to not have a play-in tournament and risk your playoff spot getting took away. Anyways, another con is traveling. This isn't the bubble, baby, and the NBA already let some of us know. Most of us know, everybody know, that they're not trying to do the bubble thing again. Not if they don't have to, with all the vaccines and everything going out, science and all that pushing everything. So they're not thinking about a bubble. They're not thinking about some hazard-free plays or all the players got to go through this extraneous amount of, So another con is traveling. Unnecessary traveling that does mess up teams. Just mess teams up, period. Too much traveling can fuck them up. mess their heads up, mess their games up, mess their rhythm up. And that's something to especially be looked about. And another con is the fact that it's deemed as pointless, and the whole purpose is negated. And that meaning that the whole purpose is to get at least get the competitive teams, that a chance. And this could look as, some, I'm sorry if I'm sounding a little stumbled up, but I'm trying to give it to you clear. All right, if we have the Raptors 22-34 facing, a 7 seed Heat that's, 28-27, that's a 5-game difference. Say the Heat didn't bring their A game that game, Say the Heat didn't bring their A game 2 games, which in my opinion, they don't deserve to be in the playoffs. But that's not my true opinion. It's just a thought, devil's advocate. But let's say the Raptors do beat the Heat. Then you have this 11 seed team possibly playing the number 2 team, which is either Philly or the Nets. Is that entertaining basketball? Do we already know who's going to make it past them? Well, is there much of a difference if the Heat was actually going to play them anyways? All of that's in the air, but that's what people are focusing on right there. What if we allow these terrible teams into the playoffs? Would that drop ratings? Would that bore people? Would that bore fans? What is even the purpose of that? This playing, if you're just going to knock out a team just because they wasn't on their A game, probably playing lower to this team because they're getting ready for the big boys on Saturday. You tell me what you think. Some pros of this, of course. Some pros is, in my opinion, some of these lackluster teams that's not really, like the Raptors. Even though I just used them on the last example, it's not really like that with them. They fought injuries, they fought trades, they fought COVID-19 stipulations. Raptors, one of those teams like the Pacers, like Philly as well, in the beginning of the season. Too bad they have an MVP caliber center and a future Hall of Fame coach in Doc Rivers that turned that shit around. But Raptors, the fact that they don't have their team isn't complete, and they're dealing with injuries, COVID-19 protocols, etc. They haven't really found their groove, and their NBA team, they don't win every game, So that it has hit them hard and made them look like a way worse team than they actually are. So with the Raptors needing a chance, not the Bulls, but the 9th seed Pacers needing a chance, dealing with injuries as well, dealing with the COVID-19 protocols, and just a lot of games has been on them. Pacers are blowing fourth quarter leads. They are number 1 in the NBA for blowing fourth quarter leads, last in the league for rebounds, albeit they got Miles Turner, who is a defensive machine, and Sabonis as well in that paint, but they're last in the league in rebounds. That'll lose you a lot of games. But my point being, Pacers, cohesive unit, that if they face a team like the Hornets, who are the 8th seed, the Heat even, maybe even the Knicks, who could very much knock them out and get back in playoff contention because they've been there before. Another pro is less tanking, less teams giving up, less teams throwing in the towel, less teams just saying, fuck it, we'll try and get us a star out of the draft and we'll do what we gotta do next season, baby. Man, I used to be a Knicks fan back in the day, believe it or not. Shout out to that boy Carmelo Anthony. It's not fun when your team chooses that route. It's not. It's not at all. It hurts. So at least this is a chance to give sorrier teams like the Raptors, the Pelicans, the Pacers, the Bulls, the Spurs, the Warriors. These are all kind of teams that aren't the 8th seed and up. Give them a chance to get in the playoffs and give their fans some hope, bringing in another pro, revenue for the NBA. It's not a pro for me. I'm sure it's a pro for them boys, but it's a pro nonetheless. Bringing in some more money, some more entertainment. Who doesn't like single elimination games? Will be some of the best games that you'll probably see in the NBA. Everybody bringing their A game. Game 7 mentality, Game 7 vibe. This isn't Game 1. This isn't Game 2, where you can kind of fuck up, where you can kind of let something slip away. This is single game elimination. It brings a certain aura, a certain thing in the atmosphere, and the fans is going to be here for it. And on top of that, the 7th and 8th seeds are this isn't a pro nor con. It's just something to remember, something to look out for. The 7th and 8th seed do have 2 tries to make that playoff. They first battle each other. The winner takes the 7th seed. The loser plays the 9th and 10th seed, the winner of that, for that 8th spot. That's 2 tries you got to making it to the playoffs. On to the next one. You dig what I'm saying? Watch out for that 11th seed. I kind of dug into it a second ago with them Raptors. Now I'm going to bring it back to the West. Watch out for number 11, them Pelicans. The Pelicans can sneak into the 10th spot, snag it from the Warriors, who I don't think really want to be in the play-in tournament anyways. They're just winning games right now on a 3-game winning streak. Came from 10th seed to the 9th seed on accident. I'm pretty sure Steve Kerr does not want any parts of this play-in tournament to injure any other superstar he has. He wants a healthy Warriors team. He wants to demolish everybody. But that's for another video. Pelicans. Eric Bledsoe. They lost J.J. Redick, sent him away. You got Brandon Ingram. You know who you have. Steven Adams. Zion Williamson. You know who you got. You know what you got. Lonzo Ball. Hey, Pelicans have blown some games. What's wrong with the Pelicans? They played down to people's level. I'm not going to get a full breakdown on them and their highs and lows. I'm going to just let you know this. If they do get into that 10th spot, oh boy. Entertaining? Oh, look, I could spend 10 more minutes talking about the fucking fun that's going to go down with the Pelicans, Spurs, Grizzlies, possibly Mavs, or Portland. The Pelicans are not bad. Let me get that in your face right now. They don't suck. Zion is on a tear. Sometimes he has to carry the team. Sometimes he does have to do that. But they're not bad. When I'm back against the wall, I want to see what this team has to offer. And I really hope they do make it into this. So that's something you have to remember. That's something you have to kind of hold on to and remember and vibe with. The 11th seed could come and shake things up and snag that 10th seed. Over to the West, like I was saying, with the East, I know for a fact the Raptors will snatch that from the Bulls. The Bulls just acquiring Vujovic from Orlando. What's up, Vu? I told you shouldn't have signed that extension. That's for another video. Raptors, I do think, can take that 10th spot, and if they do, that's another team that could give out some upsets. That's it. I'm not gonna, go too deep into that. But to end it all out, my predictions for this whole thing, my prediction for the play-in tournament, if it was to end today, if the season ended today, you got the 7th seed Heat on the East versus the 8th seed Heat. Sorry, baby. I'm too geeked up right now. The 7th seed Heat versus the 8th seed Hornets. The 9th seed Pacers versus the 10th seed Bull over in the East. You already know I got the Heat taking that over the Hornets. They don't have no Melo. They don't have no chance. So I'm giving them that Heat. Heat takes on, they get the 7th seed and they take on Brooklyn right now is the 2nd seed. But I feel like, even though I said it ends right now, but I still feel like, the Nets will be number 1 seed at the end of the season. But since I said it ends right now, Brooklyn the 2nd seed, Heat versus Brooklyn. And then Pacers versus Bull, that 9th, 10th seed. Who gets the 8th spot? Who plays the Heat for that 8th spot? Pacers, of course. They're more of a more well-oiled machine. They have a lot more experience. They've been there in the playoffs, even though they've been knocked out of the first round a couple times. They've been there before. They know what it takes. They one of those sneaky teams that's been good, in the regular season. Pacers versus Hornets. Pacers go all the way. I'm not even going to take too much time on that. Pacers win that 8th spot and plays Philly and possibly could give Philly a hard time, but they're not as good as Philly. Philly will beat them, and Brooklyn will beat the Heat. For the West, you have the 7th seed Mavs going to get the 8th seed Grizzlies for that 7th seed spot. A close one, a tough one, but I'm no fool. The Mavs will be taking that for sure, and you will have the Grizzlies waiting for the winner of the Warriors and the Spurs. Warriors, Spurs, if the Pelicans don't come in and sneak it, but Warriors, Spurs. Honestly, I just feel like if, Spurs win, if Warriors win, doesn't really matter. I got the Grizzlies beating whoever comes out of that, securing that 8th seed with Josh Jackson Jr. coming back. Just going to be way too much for that Grizzlies. Grizzlies are very much of a deep team. what's that nigga name that played with Toronto? Jonas Valanciunas. Haha, that's a memory. He's been on the tear at that center spot, walking double, doing way more than they been, expecting from him. That Clark fellow doing above and beyond things. So the Grizzlies are scary. The Spurs are scary too. But if it goes down to Grizzlies and Spurs, it's going to be a close game. Very close. But I like the Grizzlies to come out on top. Mavs coming out for that 7th. Grizzlies coming out on top. 7 seed Mavs playing the number 2 Suns. That would be fire. But I got the Suns winning that one. And Utah versus the Grizzlies. I got Utah winning that one. But that's all the time I got for you today, everybody. It's your boy Larry. We just got done being live. Is that cool? Is that corny? Is that lame? I don't know. It's my first time doing it. I don't know. Let me know. But everybody, hey, I'm gonna be back next week, man. I ain't gonna keep y'all waiting no more, man. Subscribe. I'm trying to feed my family, baby. Look at the smile. Look at the sauce. Look at the drip. Look at the swag. Shout out Fat Boy Sean, Fat Boy Apparel. I got a stunt. Shout out to that Florida Water. Shout out to everybody doing their thing. You know what I mean, baby. Hey, much love. See you later. Boom.